And the reality is that I think Dr. King would look at today and say, well, it ain't much different. You know, I think he would say that in terms of our standards, in terms of the way that we're interacting with each other, we still have a prison industrial complex. We still have racism. We still have things built into our laws and into our Constitution.
And even worse mental health than before, higher suicide rates.
It's specifically about race, what he's talking about, things have not changed.
Yeah.
So, you know, the reality is that there's still systems in place that are not being addressed, and that's why you feel that way.
Yes.
Because it's
but why isn't it being addressed? That's the question.
No, they aren't being changed. I think they're being addressed.
But why are they not being changed then?
Because if they were changed, then certain people who are at the top will no longer feel like they're at the top. And the reality is that once you create equality, supremacy does not exist. So that's the whole thing.
Yes. Yes.
Lonnie Love.
So that's where my anger comes from. Like, I'm just like... I feel like I still hear people defending and people still saying simple things like everyone has equal opportunity.
They don't.
That's my point. So there is a group of people crying out saying, listen to us, be empathetic to us, recognize that there is inequality, recognize that there is things that there's injustice. Yeah. And I just feel everyone needs to listen to that.
And you said the key word too.
That's how I feel.
You said the key word too. It's empathy.
Yeah. Yes.
Empathy.
But also it's about being part of the process.
Yeah.
If we're going to be in this country, we have to be part of the process. So when you raise your kids, that's why I push education so much. Because we need to be voted in to change some of these laws, some of these policies, so that we can all have an equal share.
But even in that, if you live in a certain area and your local school is not a good school, then you can't get the opportunity to possibly get a scholarship to go to Harvard, to get Harvard educated like the guy in the movie.
Or get Howard educated, you know?
Right, yeah. No, I'm saying just education in general. Like, there are certain schools that literally kids are not learning the basics that they need to learn.
But that's what I'm saying. That even starts from the basics.
In the home.
If you're a parent, you have to go to that school. You have to get on that school board. You have to get on that PTA. We just can't. We want the people at the top to care for us. A lot of people at the top, some of them do, but some of them don't because they have their own interests. They're trying to keep their power. So you have to become part of the system. You have to.
I wanted to hear what you guys had to say really quickly. I just thought it was amazing. At Johanna Califala said he would find solace in the progress we've made. First black president, mainstream integration, etc., but want to lead for greater change and equality that we've yet to find.
I just ask one more thing, that we become a little more tolerant of each other within our own communities. It's okay to criticize, but understand where the criticism is coming from. Every day we talk on this show, and you guys have something to say about something that we're talking about, whether it's Jeannie saying something or Tamara. We have to be a little more tolerant of each other and try to understand why we're saying what we're saying. We're not saying it to embarrass people, or we're doing it to make you think, to make you improve your life, or to inspire you. That's the purpose of this show. This show is not...
Bring awareness.
But let me say... You know, there's a great documentary called King in the Wilderness. And, you know, Dr. King, it talks about kind of like his last work that he was doing before he passed. And he was talking about how he felt really discouraged, how he felt like people didn't really appreciate, it's not even that they didn't appreciate, but I think that we romanticize oftentimes like the past. And there was cancel culture back then. Like, folks was trying to cancel Dr. King, you know, and try and say like, oh, he's an opportunist and all of these things. And the reality is that like when people are putting themselves on a platform to speak for the purpose of trying to elevate or trying to, you know, include and trying to inspire and educate, there's always going to be folks who throw rocks at the throne. There's always going to be folks who try to detract. And really, I feel like we would all make so much more effort if we feel like less of trying to take people down and more feel like, how can we get understanding? How can we lift people up?
Because at the end of the day, when we oppose each other and we fight each other, we become toxic to each other, they win each time.
Every time.
They
Absolutely.
win. So you got to remember that.
Yes. As we discussed in Girl Chat, today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a day where we take the time to honor and celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. King. Dr. King used his voice to stand up for justice, truth, and compassion in a time when speaking up for those things wasn't easy. Many people today continue to fight for the same principles Dr. King fought for, and in doing so, honor his legacy through their service. As we go to take a break, we'd like to leave you with a portion of Dr. King's iconic I Have a Dream speech delivered on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on August 28th, 1963. We'll be right back.
When we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last,